Three, two, one, good.
Yo, welcome back, and away we go. Hey, we were just in here talking. Well, first of all, welcome in. This is Pastor Stack's podcast. Every week we record, drop it on a Friday around, what time do we drop again? Around 12, okay, around noon. So thank you for tuning in every Friday, or as many Fridays as we can around noon. We'll see you there. Like, share, subscribe. Let's go on this journey together. I'm having fun doing this podcast. We were just talking right before we started to record about how much society has changed, and Hollywood, while they on strike, they might just get replaced. And the weird thing is, they might get replaced by something as simple as a young lady who keeps saying two catchphrases based on the emojis that pop up on her screen while she takes a curling iron or something like that and pops kernel of popcorn. And I know you're like, what in the world is he talking about? I'm talking about something that people watch by the tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. Would you say tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands? Millions. Okay, millions. That's what I'm saying. So the world has changed significantly, and people are watching. So we're doing this podcast, and we welcome you in to journey along with us. As always, we're going to talk about what's on my mind, what's on my heart, and what's in my soul. Now, I got some really interesting things for us to talk about. Oh, and we're going to end putting somebody on the prayer list. You want to hang in for this. You may remember some time ago there was a young lady by the name of Carly Russell who did a false police report. She's not in the news again, but there's a story that's going to remind you of what she did that I'm going to give at the end. We're going to put somebody on the prayer list. Now, before we get there, let's start here. What's on my mind? All right. This is what's on my mind. There is a young lady who definitely deserves some kudos and some congratulations. Her name is Sha'Carri Richardson. Sha'Carri Richardson is she's a track star. She is a track phenom. Now, back in June 19th, 2021, Richardson won the women's 100 meters at the U.S. Olympic trials, and she burst onto the scene. She's vibrant. She's colorful. She has personality. And so she had all of that, and she was fast and on her way to the U.S. Olympics. And so everybody that was paying attention to sports or track or anything like that, they saw her, and they really just gravitated towards her because of her personality and her ability to run so fast. And then, as America is gearing up for her to go to the Olympics and to represent us and bring home the gold, lo and behold, July 1st. So she qualified June 19th. July 1st, Richardson was suspended for 1 month after testing positive for THC, a chemical that is found in marijuana. As a result of being suspended for 4 weeks, a month, she had to miss the Olympic event. So she was unable to run in the Olympics. That's right. She lost the ability to go to the Olympics that was already postponed for a year because of COVID. Olympics only come around every 4 years. So everybody, well, I'm not going to say everybody because, there's a lot of haters out there and a lot of people that are ready to throw dirt on you as soon as you make a mistake. And so she missed the Olympics, and she had such a bright future ahead of her. The next time we saw her was just just a month and a half later, August 21st, 2021, Richardson returned to competition at the Prefontaine Classic, but she finished dead last in the 100 meters. So she went from being the fastest in the world to not even coming in third or fourth. She finished dead last. And after that, everybody said she was done. Not everybody. A lot of people said she was done. A lot of people, when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about all the people on the internet that got so much to say about stuff and people with sports shows that nature. They threw dirt on her. They buried her. And from there, unless you just really died in the wool, pay attention to track, we heard nothing else about her until about 2 weeks ago. And about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I saw her running. And she just wasn't running. She was winning. And she just wasn't winning. she was blowing the competition away. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. She's back? And this is what stood out to me. They gave her a post-race interview, you know, after she won that 100-meter dash. And this is what she said. She said, I'm not back, I'm better. And I was like, oh, wait, hold on. I like the way she talking. I like the way she sounds. So I looked it up because I wanted to know what's happened just this year. In June 19th, just this year, May 5th, she won the 100-meter dash at the Doha with the fastest time of 2023, clocking in at 10.76 seconds. June 11th, Richardson dominated the 100-meter at the All-Star Athlete Sprint Series. July 7th, Richardson won the 100-meter at the USATF Outdoor Championship. July 16th, Richardson won the women's 100 at Cecilia Diamond League meet, clocking in at 10.76 again. And then recently, July 18th, Richardson completed the, I don't even know how to pronounce that. She won again. So she has been winning race after race. And I think just a couple of days ago, in Paris, just a couple of days ago in Paris, she blew out the competition with all of the world's fastest people there. She won so well that across the finish line, she wiped the sweat off her brow in the middle of the race. I just wanted to say shout out to you, Sha'Carri Richardson, because you could have given up on yourself. You could have thrown yourself a pity party. You could have said, I blew my opportunity, but you have had a major comeback. And since everybody threw dirt on you, I just want to, embarrass you because of the mistake you made. I just want to say thank you for not giving up on yourself. Thank you for being an inspiration to people to say, in our world, in the pastor world, we say we fall down. With the help of Jesus, we get back up again. So shout out to you, Sha'Carri Richardson. Keep on doing what you're doing. Now, for the next story, I believe calling this story that's on my mind. What do we call this one, Roy? Africa Stand Up. That's right. Stand up, Africa. So one of the things that I realized from the first Black Panther movie. Remember when the first Black Panther movie came out and everybody was going to the movies and checking out Black Panther? We were dressing up in African gear and everybody was hitting the Wakanda Forever and all those other kind of stuff. What it really made me think of is we are starved for positive African content. So much so that we just glorified a movie. And I'm not saying there was anything wrong with that. I mean, we had a good time with it, but think about that. The reason we liked it so much is because it showed African culture and dress and hair and all of those things unapologetically, and it highlighted so many good aspects of African culture as well. So forget Wakanda. We got a real Wakanda situation happening in our hands. Let's look at the country of Niger. Now, see, in my mind, that's when the kind of map pops up like, oh, Niger. But anyway, so I have there was a story where there is a developing story about the country of Niger. Niger, not to be confused with Nigeria. Niger is north of Nigeria, so they're two different countries. Just to let you know, Niger was in the news because they had a coup. There was a coup in a country in Africa. And I know you're like, well, isn't there always a coup happening somewhere in Africa? Listen, follow me on this one. Because when I looked at this, when I said, yo, it's tens of thousands of people that are out in the streets for this coup celebrating. And I was like, what is going on? Because think of it this way. If it was a coup to overthrow the government in the United States and just thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people were supporting it, wouldn't you get a little interested to be like, well, what's happening with this? Not just, well, it's just another coup that's happened. So let me tell you, this is not a coup. This is a rebellion. And in order to understand the rebellion that's happening in Niger, I need you to follow me on this journey. So apparently in in Niger. Let me pull up my notes. I want to make sure I get this all right. This is not a coup. This is a rebellion, and the whole nation of Niger is rising up, and they taking some other countries along with them. And in order to understand this, you got to do like Chris Tucker said in what's the name? Rush Hour, when he said, "Follow the money," or to be even more specific, follow the rich white man. So here we go. In order to understand why Niger is having a rebellion, you have to understand that they have been ruled by France for a long time. For hundreds of years, they've been ruled by France. They were colonized by France. France was the biggest colonizer of Western Africa. Because France is the biggest colonizer of Western Africa, the Niger has 11 native languages, but the national language in Niger is none of the native languages. It's French. Not only is the national language of Niger French, the national dollar of Niger is the French franc. So Niger rose up and said, "Get out." This is part of the reason. The Western European countries are building a pipeline for natural gas. That pipeline has to go through Nigeria. And after Nigeria, remember I told you Nigeria is north of Nigeria. So as it goes north, trying to get to the European countries, it has to go through Nigeria. Nigeria is saying, hey, pay us for the pipeline to go through here the way you will pay any other country. And France doesn't want to do that. So they were like, hey, you know what, France, we've had enough. All y'all get out. They gave them 30 days. And this was about 30 days ago. They gave them 30 days. They said, you, all of your embassies, your military presence, get out of our country. Let us govern ourselves. And the reason there was a coup is because the present government was Western allies. So they were okay with the fact that France was getting all of the natural resources and Niger was remaining a impoverished country. So they said, hey, listen, let us govern ourselves. And if you want our natural resources, pay us the way you would pay any other country. Which, doesn't that sound very American? That we would want to govern ourselves, and if a country, an outside country, wants to get a benefit from our resources, they should pay the country that they're getting the resources from. But because France had manipulated the whole situation, even if Niger tried to pay France, they'd be paying France in their own francs. And to understand how predatory this is, not even France doesn't even use the franc. France uses the euro. So they have Niger, they can't have their own money. They have to have the franc, and then they have to pay France back in an obsolete currency that they get from them. And when Niger is trying to set their budget has to be approved by France. We're talking about a country here. A country having to have their budget approved by another country. So Niger said, hey, you know what? Enough is enough. Get out. Now, let me tell you what also complicates this whole thing. What also complicates this whole thing is France uses nuclear energy for the majority of their power, to power homes and businesses and things of that nature. Those nuclear plants need uranium. Guess where France gets the bulk of their uranium from? About 66% of their uranium. You guessed it right. Niger. So Niger is saying, hey, get out, and the uranium that you've been stealing from my country, pay us the fair price the same way you would any other country. Now, France doesn't want to do this. France doesn't want to leave. France doesn't want to pay the full price. And they said, you can't force us to go. We are a bigger, stronger nation than you are. And what are you going to do if we say we're not going to leave? You can't fight us by yourself. To which other African countries stood up and said, no, we stand with them. Matter of fact, we want our sovereignty too, so we can govern ourselves. So get out of their country and get out of ours too. Africa is beginning to unite. This puts France in a big dilemma because they need that uranium in order to power their homes and their businesses. Remember, about 66% of them. And let me tell you the other irony of this. While France gets about 66% of their power from the uranium from Niger, only about 18% of the entire country of Niger even has power. That's exploitive. That is manipulative. That is criminal. To take the resources from a country while you purposely keep them impoverished. And anybody saying, well, France needs to be there in order to govern themselves. No, they don't. No, they do not. We are talking about Africa here. We are talking about the motherland. It is full of smart, intelligent people that can run their own country. We're talking about the place where King Mesa Musa came from. We're talking about the place where calendars and math originated from. They can govern themselves without Western influence. And all they're doing is saying, let us govern ourselves without the outside influence and manipulation of Western countries. And other African countries are standing with them. So, yep, that's right. Africa, stand up. Oh, and just to get back to what I was saying, when France was like, well, you can't kick us out because we're a bigger country. Not only did the other African countries, some other African countries start to stand with them, Russia has thrown their support behind this as well. So Russia was like, you can't bully them because we're going to stand with them. And I know it gets complicated. Oh, but also when Niger told France to get out, you know who else they told to get out of their country? The United States. Yep, they told us to get out too. And it is their right to run their country the way they want to run it. And this puts America in a really interesting situation, because how can America tell Niger France has a right to govern them and control them while we are sending billions of dollars to Ukraine, because we're telling a smaller country, Ukraine, that the larger country, Russia, can't govern you, but we're going to tell France they can govern Niger? We can't. It's hypocritical. I mean, you know, America, we don't mind being hypocritical, but we can't just come right out and say it. So that's why you don't see us talking about this in the news. That's why you don't see American news media saying anything about it, because they know supporting France in this makes us big hypocrites, because you can't support the underdog in one place and then not support the underdog in another. Because aren't we supposed to be about democracy? Aren't we supposed to be about people being able to govern themselves or whatnot? So come on, America. Let's get it together. France, get out of there. Niger and the other African countries, stand up. Let's go. All right, Africa, I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see what happens next as you demand the right to control your own resources, as any country should be able to do. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here it comes, Mr. Malik.
Man, great to be back. Great to be back. Sure.
All right, now, you know, Malik comes in for our sports segment. So, first of all,
you brought up how we're going to give a shout out to ESPN for stealing our podcast and talking about the same things that we talked about 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, when we talked about who's the best point guard
between Magic and Steph Curry.
Yeah, we did that weeks ago before the conversation got hot.
5 weeks
before the conversation got hot. So ESPN, we looking for some royalties on that. Now, what are we talking about today, man? What am I going to have to help you understand today?
The confidence. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about, will Patrick Mahomes ever be able to surpass Tom Brady? That is what's up for discussion.
Will Patrick Mahomes
ever be able?
Will the baby GOAT? Yeah, that's what I'm calling Patrick Mahomes at this point. Will the baby GOAT ever be able to surpass the GOAT?
Right.
Because I think we can both agree Tom Brady's the GOAT.
Absolutely.
Now, there are some incredible quarterbacks. Peyton Manning. Let me see. I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden.
I'm gonna help you out. We got freaking Drew Brees.
Steve Young. Joe Montana. Yeah, it's some hitters out there, and it's some in the league right now. But it remains to be seen what they will be. But it's some great quarterbacks out there. But for me, Tom Brady's the GOAT.
Right.
But that's not to say I believe Patrick Mahomes can surpass him. I don't know if he will, I don't know if he will, but if he continues at the trajectory that he's on right now, he will.
And so, do you think Patrick Mahomes will get anywhere close to 7 Super Bowls?
7 Super Bowl. How many?
Tom Brady has 7.
He got 7, right?
He got 7.
And he lost 2.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady went to the Super Bowl.
He may have lost 3.
2 or 3, but he got 7
against
wins.
The Giants, and then 1 against another team. So I believe it was 3 times.
Okay, so but either way it go, he got 7 wins.
Yep, 7 rings.
All right,
Yeah.
so seven rings, and Patrick Mahomes has 2.
Right.
That's a lot. That's a lot. A whole lot had to happen in order for Tom Brady to get that. One, he was in a very weak division for what, like 20 years. His division was nothing. So,
but we still just like he didn't have to go against Peyton Manning almost every year, even though he was coming from a weak division.
Yeah, but Peyton Manning, Peyton Manning was out here battling lions while Tom Brady was out here in the softest schedule, in the softest division in the NFL for 20 years. So, but that's neither here nor there. Can Patrick Mahomes, will he? I think he will. Listen, the brother, he's been in the league, I believe, 4 years. His first, I know his first season, he didn't play the full season. Right. So I thought that would. But as far as his full seasons go, he's made it to what, at least 4. Okay, so he's made it to at least the AFC Championship game. Every season he's played a full season.
Okay,
that's incredible.
That is incredible.
That's incredible. So, and he's already been to how many Super Bowls 3. in that amount of time? 3. And he's already won 2 of them.
2, yeah.
So,
do you know who he lost against?
Yeah, okay. So he did lose against Tom Brady. That is something that is going to be a blemish on that record. That is going to be a blemish on that record. But we both know his Patrick Mahomes' offensive line was completely decimated in that Super Bowl. We know this. Well, they had at least 3 non-starters on that offensive line, and I mean the left tackle was out, right tackle was out, and I believe somebody else on the offensive line. He had a very bad offensive line. Outside of that, I know, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I know, shoulda, woulda, coulda. But he did. You're right about that. He beat him. But that is gonna be hard to overcome on the resume. So, but if he gets to 7, with the records he's already breaking, he
would have to win 8 because of Tom Brady beating him in the Super Bowl. So it would have to be more than 7.
I'm going to tell you why deep down inside, you know he can surpass him. Because with just 2 Super Bowl rings, you yourself wonder if he can pass him or not. With just 2. With just 2. He got another 5 to go. But the fact that he can even be in the conversation at 2 shows us that we know the baby GOAT got the potential to be the GOAT.
Well, here's one thing that you may have underestimated, which is longevity. It's like when it came to Tom Brady, of course, he was a pocket passer, meaning that he, for the most of the time he would just stay in the pocket and he did his thing. But like when it comes to the evolution of football, especially with the rise of running quarterbacks, especially Patrick Mahomes, he's more susceptible to getting hit and hurt.
And he is a little dude too.
And
he is a little dude too. But at the rate he's going, that's what I'm saying. If you're making it to the AFC Championship game at a minimum every year, it won't take you 25 years to get to 7 rings. Now, I don't know if Tom Brady was in the league for 25 years. If it wasn't 25, it was somewhere close to it.
But see, at the same time, I think you're also underestimating how fast the NFL grows, too. I mean, there's still the rise of Joe Burrow with the Bengals.
Joe Burrow's coming, man.
It's the same thing.
Joe Burrow's coming. Burrow's coming.
So it's still other teams on the rise.
Well, hold on.
At the same time.
Dude for the Bills. What was his name?
Josh Allen.
You believe in Josh Allen?
I think he can win one.
You believe in Josh Allen?
He can win one.
I tell you this, I think it's a make or break. Not a make or break, but I think for him to remain in that top echelon of quarterbacks, this is going to be a very important year for him.
It is.
It's going to be a very important year for him. But as far as quarterbacks that could potentially be the GOAT, we know it's really only one person in that conversation right now. That's Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I believe Joe Burrow, he ain't far out of that conversation though, because he's only had 2 full years. Because remember his freshman year, he was killing it.
It was
freshman, rookie year, he was killing it, and then he got injured.
Yeah.
Second year, he comes back, goes all the way to the Super Bowl in his first full season. And then his second full season, which was last year, he made it to the AFC Championship game. So I mean, if it's another person for some reason I can't remember his name. The guy from Buffalo. Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Allen.
I thought it was Josh Allen, but in hindsight, I think the next best is probably Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Bengals have even squad too, especially with Jamar Chase. I mean, and just everything that they have, like we said, the Bengals are coming, the Bills are coming, the NFL is getting better, and so we can't base it off of just how.
But not with the baby GOAT right there. That's all I'm saying. Like you say whatever you want to. You give Patrick Mahomes 30 seconds with the game on the line, you're gonna probably lose.
The same way they did at the Super Bowl when Tom Brady had the ball.
Well, I don't know about all of that. all right. Yeah. Good talk, man. Good talk. All right. Yeah, you made some good points in there. I think the fact that Tom Brady beating him in the Super Bowl, that's gonna be a hard one to overcome on the record. He gonna probably have to get 8. Yeah, he gonna probably get 8, man. Unless he just.
There is no way.
Yeah, and Tom Brady got so many records as well. But anyway, I digress. Okay, that's what's on my mind. Matter of fact, we getting ready. Church is about to have our first. Not our first, but yeah, I think it might be our first fantasy football league. That's starting. It was gonna start in about a week, so we're gonna do that. Have a good time with it, and enjoy this football season. Shout out to everybody that likes football and follow your team and root for them and all that old good stuff. I used to have a favorite team, but I got tired of rooting for a loser, so I moved on from it. But anyway, Yeah, you did too. Yeah, you did too. On the same year, same time. We was like, yeah, we out. Don't shake your head. Don't. Roy shaking his head. All right, that's what's on my mind. Now let's get to what's on my heart. I want to speak to everybody, but not really everybody. I want to speak to fathers in particular. I want to speak to fathers in particular. You know what? Men. Let me talk to men because you don't necessarily have to be a father for this to even apply. I know it is challenging when you are trying to grow your family and grow your career simultaneously. Sometimes it can feel like it's a losing battle, that in order to do one well, the other suffers. Because if you're going to be at home more, you have to work less. And if you're going to work more in order to provide for your family, you have to be at home less. And sometimes it could be difficult finding that balance because you don't want to neglect either. If you grew up like I grew up and believe like I believe, a man is a provider. I don't believe in a woman taking care of me. Like she can contribute, but I believe a man, if he has the ability to provide, needs to be a provider for his woman and for his family. Like I say, if you have the ability. So brothers, I understand if you're going to provide for your family, but then you also have a family that sometimes trying to juggle and balance and do both can seem like a losing battle. But just ask God to help you find some balance there, because there is a way to find some balance. And you got to be intentional, especially with your family, because that's what we're doing all this work for. You're doing all this work so that you can take care of your woman. You're doing all this work so that you can take care of your kids. But then if you never see your kids, that's also defeating the purpose. So you got to be intentional. Be intentional about how you spend your weekends. So if you don't spend time with them during the week or as much time as you would like, then be intentional about your weekends. Be intentional about protecting your Saturdays and your Sundays. Take your kids, take your woman, take them to church. Have, not only go on vacations with them, not only, go shopping and just other things with them. go to worship, go to church with them as well. Build those family bonds. It's an old cliche, but it's a good cliche. The family that prays together stays together. So do your best to be intentional about both, and you will find a balance. Even though I know sometimes it feels like finding a balance is a hard thing, there are people out there that have found it. There may be some older people around you that you can seek advice from, because let me tell you, there's some old people around you. They got some real good words of wisdom if you don't mind listening to, some stories and eating a couple of pieces of butterscotch candy. So that they gonna dig out of the bottom of their purse. Well, if it's a female, but if it's a brother that you're getting the advice from, then he may have some old war stories or whatnot, but you may be able to learn from his experiences. So keep your head up, stay encouraged, and know that there is a way to be a good provider and also to be present as much as you can be in your home for your woman and for your children. All right. And the reason I'm saying your woman and not your wife, because I know everybody don't go home to a wife, but you go home to the same woman every day. You won't marry her, but you still providing and all those other kind of stuff. So I want to be broad in that discussion, because it's more people going home to their woman than it is going home to their wife. So I want to encourage you as well. All right. That's what's on my heart. That's what's on my mind. Last thing, what's in my soul. This was in my show. Shout out to my dad that just went back to working in the school system part-time. He has such a heart for kids. I am so blessed to have a good father. But having a father that's in the school system, I have a sister that's in the school system, cousins that's teachers and administrators in the school system, many other friends and family that's in the school system. So this time of year means a lot, because I know a lot of people that are getting ready to go back to school. Not only that, but of course, a lot of people getting their kids ready to go back to school shopping and book bag shopping. And shout out to all of the people that go around to all of the people, to all of the different areas where they're giving out book bags and collecting all of the book bags and all of the school supplies. But this is who I want to give a shout out to that gets overlooked the most. Side note, do people still say shout out? Is that a okay? All right, cool. Shout out to the bus drivers. I know there's a shortage of school teachers. There's a shortage of administrators. There's a shortage of cafeteria workers. There's a shortage of school staff and faculty all across the board. But you seldom hear anybody talk about the bus drivers. So kids can't get to school for anybody to do their job if the bus drivers aren't there. And the bus drivers have to deal with those same kids you dealing with in the classroom, but they got to do it on a moving vehicle. So shout out to all of the bus drivers. Know that you have the support of many. You are in the prayers of many, and we thank you for all that you do to help get our kids safely to school every morning and every afternoon when school is over. We appreciate you, bus drivers. And please drive safe. You got a lot of precious cargo that you carry every day. All right. And now, last but not least, I was about to say Wednesday's word. Last but not least, the prayer list. Prayer list is when we get opportunity, to pull in somebody from the community and just let them know that we gonna hold you up in prayer. You making some strange decisions in life, and we gonna hold you in prayer. Now, remember I said that I was gonna mention something similar to at Carly Russell. If any of y'all remember Carly Russell, she was a woman who faked her own kidnapping. And I think she left a car running, left a wig on the ground. She set up a whole scenario. Well, it's happened again. Not with her. And the other thing is, it happened right here in North Carolina. Yeah, it happened right here in North Carolina. So here's the story. According to USA Today, a North Carolina woman, and y'all know after I tell you the story, I'm gonna ask you how old you think she is. All right. So a North Carolina woman there was a report that a North Carolina woman was either missing or had been killed. The report came in to a job. Hold on, this story does it. Let me look at this other one. This North Carolina woman, she is facing false report and other charges after police say she sent anonymous messages to a friend and to the Department of Social Services saying she had been attacked and killed. Now, apparently, there's some way, some app or whatever where you can send messages and calls from your phone but make it look like it's coming from another number. So that's what she did. It's called spoofing. She spoofed her number to look like it was somebody else's number and sent message to her kid and for some reason to the Department of Social Services saying she'd been attacked and killed. So an investigation ensued. They found her the next day alive and well, and then 2 days after that arrested her. See, this is what people got to understand. When you make a report to the police, there's going to be an investigation. And that investigation is going to be done by people who it is their job to investigate. So even when you show up, they're not going to stop investigating. They still have to find out what happened. Who was involved? Who did you see? Who did you talk to? Was there anybody else involved in it? Did you get any help? How did you escape? Why don't you have any marks? Why don't you have any bruises? Was it a man? Was it a woman? And they're going to continue the investigation even if you show back up unharmed. I don't know why people will make a false report about themselves being kidnapped, about themselves being killed. I don't know what mental strain you are dealing with, but there are better ways to deal with your stress because now she's being charged with several things. I think one of them is even resisting arrest. So it's like resisting arrest, false report, and a multitude of other things. She's going to have to pay back the money for the resources that was spent looking for her. So And we just went through this. Like we just had somebody do this. I don't understand why you would do this to this young lady. Her name is Maggie in North Carolina, and up in the. So, but I wanted to. Oh, before we put her on the prayer list, Malik, Roy, how old do you think she is? All right, we got 28 right here. 38. Okay. All right. One of you is just 1 year off. One of you is just 1 year off. Does anybody want to modify? Anybody want to modify? You want to? Okay. 39. All right. Maggie is 37 years old. Oh. You were 1 year old, but you went one up instead of one down. Maggie is one. She's 1 year off away. She's 37 years old. She's being charged with several things because she sent messages to her friends and to the Department of Social Services. She'd been attacked and killed. She was found the next day, safe and sound. Thank the Lord. But now she's in a world of trouble and making national news. That's why I'm not even going to call her her whole name. But sweetheart, get some help and get some Jesus. And know that all the way from Fayetteville, North Carolina, we are going to put you on the prayer list. All right, that's it. That's my time. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed being here. I hope you enjoyed being a part of it. Tell somebody to know somebody to tell somebody to tune in and listen. You know, while you're having your walk in the evening or morning, it's a good thing to listen to while you're washing dishes, while you're riding in the car, or while you're just hanging out. Let me be a part of your day. Let us be a part of your day. Like, share, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next go round. I ended saying, and away we go. So, and away we